What's up, everybody? Another Flashback Friday here. This one I'm not going to flash back too far. I'm going to flash back to the team series me and my buddy Matt Becker won, and just show you some of the things I used to catch fish in this event. You know, day one of our qualifying event, we were at Presque Isle Bay. And the main deal there for me was two baits, exclusively two baits. I mean, I caught some fish on a drop shot. Yeah, I think that's the only other bait I caught a fish on other than these two I'm about to show you. But the main bait for me that day was a chatterbait Evo, Z-Man Evo. This isn't the tungsten. This is just a regular one that came out last year at ICAST. It was a 3/8 in green pumpkin. And I was pairing that with something that I don't think a lot of people know about yet. I don't know exactly how long these have been out. Probably a year, maybe less, maybe longer. I don't know. I've always thrown the same two trailers pretty much on my chatterbaits. I either throw a Yamamoto Seiko Shed, which is an incredible trailer, or I throw a NetBait Paka Slim in the 3.5 and use that to trim off that first joint on that crawl. But it depends on whether I'm trying to imitate a crawfish or if I'm trying to imitate a bluegill or a shad. Depending on that is depending on what trailer I'm going to put on the back of my chatterbait. But in this one, obviously, I wanted to imitate something like a bluegill, and so that's why I was throwing green pumpkin. But this trailer is something I found on Tackle Warehouse back probably around June, and I started playing around with it because I was wanting something just a little bit more durable. I was having an issue with the Yamamoto Seiko Shad. I could catch like 2 fish on one tops, and I was having to put another one on and super glue it. A lot of times I couldn't get it to really hold with super glue very well at all either. And I just felt like it was costing me a lot of fishing time, having to constantly get down and put on a new trailer. A lot of times I wouldn't even catch a fish and the trailer would start sliding down. And once it started sliding down, it was over with. So I did a lot of search on Tackle Warehouse looking at different chatterbait trailers, and I found this Beast Coast. Have no association with them whatsoever. This is called the Blade Runner. This is called Pumpkin Gill, this color. This is exactly one I was throwing on the back of this chatterbait. The Evo wasn't trimming any off of it. No super glue whatsoever. This is a much more durable plastic. No lie, I caught at least 12 to 15 bass per trailer. There was a couple exceptions where I'd catch like 5 and I'd need a new trailer. But it was usually when the lead, I know if any of you've got the Evos, the only issue I have with this chatterbait is the lead keeper on the hook here. After you catch so many fish on it, the lead starts sliding up to the metal keeper like you have on the jackhammer. And once that happens, it really bulks that area up there. And I felt like it was tearing the head out of that trailer a lot worse and causing it to slide down after 5 or 6 fish. But on a new Evo every time, I put one of them trailers on there, I could catch a minimum of 12 to 15 fish before I would need a new trailer. So really excited about this trailer in the coming fall time when I'm going to be throwing a chatterbait a lot this winter, next year in the spring on the Bass Pro Tour, the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit. I'm really excited about these Beast Coast Blade Runner. It's a 4.15 inch, so 4 inches. It's a 4-inch trailer, and it's got a really cool tail. I don't know if I can see how it's split on up here ways, and this is really implements a lot of different action. I mean, it's pretty subtle, but them little tail fins back there really flap around a lot. So it's a great trailer. Love it so far. It's a real strong garlic top scent, and I don't know, I really like it. Next bait. Like I said, I have no association with them whatsoever. Maybe after this video, they'll give me a shout out. But the other bait I was catching them on, and this is a bait that I just really got to using this spring, and I've absolutely fallen in love with it. Not only this jig, but even their football jig, which I think is the... It's not the OW Sniper, but it's their football jig with a weed guard. It's more finesse and compact jig. I absolutely love it as well. But great hook, great weed guard, great head designs. Absolutely incredible how stout the paint is on this jig head. It will not come off. I'm not kidding. I mean, using the same jig, skipping docks, dragging it through rocks. I mean, after a full day fishing, it legit looks like it just came out of the pack, other than teeth marks. And the teeth marks, even under the teeth marks, there's still paint. I mean, it's like the paint. I don't know what they do with this jig head, but the paint does not come off of it whatsoever. And it's a tungsten jig head. This is the Beast Coast Little Magnum. This is a 3/4 ounce. And they put the size of the bait, or the size of the head on the side of their jig head, so you always know if you're getting a half or a 3/4. When we were flipping grass out deeper, I was using the 3/4 Beast Coast Little Magnum. When we would flip docks, I would use the 1/2 ounce. But I was throwing that on a Arc Reinforcer 7.4 heavy with a Gravity G8 8-to-1. And obviously throwing a Strike King Baby Rage Crawl on the back of that. That's what I always throw on the back of my jigs. It's either a Baby Rage or a full-size Rage. My opinion, it's the only trailer there is to throw on the back of a jig, honestly. Maybe in the wintertime, every now and then I'll use like a Super Chunk Junior or something. Something with less action, or Missile Baits D-Bomb or something like that. But 99.9% of the time, it's always going to be either a Baby Rage or a Rage Crawl for me. And on that chatterbait, I didn't mention, I was using an Arc Reinforcer 7.6 medium heavy for that. I know everybody has their chatterbait rods that they love, but this one to me, the Reinforcer 7.6 medium heavy and the Invoker Tour 7.6 medium heavy, those are my go-tos for a chatterbait. And I was throwing that on an Arc Gravity G8 7-to-1 reel, using 20-pound line on my chatterbait, 20-pound line on my jig. That's what I was using. The day we went to Chautauqua, I had an absolute blast on every day of that event, but I have to say the most fun day was when we went to Chautauqua. I got to catch a big smallmouth on the Yo-Zuri 3DB 120. And this is Sexy Ghost Pearl is the name of this color, I believe. No, it's just Ghost Sexy Shad. I think it's what it is. And the only thing I change on this bait is the back hook, because they don't come stock with a feather hook. And I like a feather hook on my top water, especially if I'm working a little slower. And I believe this is called fish head or fish bone. I don't know. You can get on Tackle Warehouse and find them. This is a size 2 feathered treble. And that's what I like to use on these top waters. Now, if I'm throwing like a little Yo-Zuri popping bait, I like the Gamakatsu Nano Finesse hooks. They make a feathered hook as well. But usually I'm using this fish head or fish bone, whatever it's called, feathered treble for my walking baits. And man, I had a blast on this bait right here. I know a lot of you guys saw catch a big smallmouth. Had a 415, a 412, or a 413, a 4.5, a couple 3.5-pound largemouth. All them fish over 4 pounds for big smallmouth. And gosh, this top water is incredible. Like I said, this is the 120. Anytime I'm throwing it out over grass, big flats, and things like that, or around boat docks, I'm going to throw the 120. If I'm fishing over brush or suspended fish or fish that are following bait, I'm going to usually throw the 100 or the 3D RX, the little ones, kind of like a little puppy size, probably a 75 size. But anytime I'm throwing over grass, I'm going to throw this 120. Throwing that on Yo-Zuri Super Braid 30-pound green. Throwing that on an Arc Reinforcer 7.3 medium heavy action with a Arc Gravity G8 7-to-1 reel. And I was using Yo-Zuri 100% T7 fluorocarbon on the chatterbait and the jig. That's what I was using on those. So guys, that was such a blast to get that win in the first team series. I know you guys absolutely loved watching that. I've seen nothing but positive feedback on that event. And it was just an absolute blast. Me and Matt had such a good time together. We fished so well together. When he wasn't catching them, I was. When I wasn't catching them, he was. He used different techniques to catch his. I'm sure he's already put that up on his YouTube. He usually does. And I'm sure he talked about what he was doing to catch them. But that's how I caught them. And behind him, like I said, I have no affiliation with Beast Coast at all. But their product just is really... it amazes me. I mean, it's really good. Their jigs are incredible. The trailer on top of that with the back of my chatterbaits are really outstanding, and very impressed with their stuff. But go check that stuff out, guys. Like I said, all Yo-Zuri line, arc rod to arc reels. And then that Yo-Zuri top water, that was the day I had the absolute most fun catching them big smallmouth. So that's it for today on Flashback Friday. Appreciate you guys watching.